What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with today's interesting video, and I mean that quite literally, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we're now... What the hell's in my nose? And we're now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Only time will tell, but as I'm trying to figure out my nose. But as I've said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. Much similar to this collector's rare that I pulled out of Genesis Impact. You guys see it, Beat Cop from the Underworld. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. The centering on the back is a bit off from top to bottom, as you can tell, but honestly, it really doesn't make much of a damn, because I am going to be getting this graded, but I never really came up with a good opportunity to do so. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which ties with today's video, which is this: which Yu-Gi-Oh anime character do you guys want to see get new support in Legacy of Destruction? Let me know down in the comments below, because for today's video, Yu-Gi-Oh has new cards in Legacy of Destruction. Obviously, the cards are not going to be meta, naturally, but it is pretty cool to see Yugi getting some more support for some of the decks that he's built over, that he built over the years in the anime. So I'm not gonna waste any time, because there's 10 cards to talk about. So let's get straight into it. Kicking things off, we got Giaz Gandora, the Dragon of Destruction, which is an 8-star Dark Dragon with 0 attack and defense, and the first and third effects are once per turn. The first effect reads: if you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, you can special summon this card from your hand. It's a Cyber Dragon if you have a card on board. Plain and simple. The second effect... excuse me. The second effect says that this card gains 300 attack for each banished card. Pot of Desires for 3, anybody? Pot of Desires at 3, anybody? No? Pot of Desires at 1? I think that sounds about right. Yeah, Pot of Desires is probably going to be an even broken card now than ever before, probably. The third effect says, you can pay half your life points to destroy as many other cards on the field as possible, and if you do banish them, then special summon a level 7 or lower monster from your deck that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light. And if you do, increase its level by the number of cards destroyed by this effect. So funny enough, if you pop So funny enough, if you have this card on board and you want to go into a rank 8 Xyz, this card can essentially be a one card Xyz, because you can pop 4 cards on the board. Excuse me. Special summon a level 4. Its level becomes double, making it level 8, and you can just automatically go into a rank 8 from there. So that's not bad. Although, to be fair, Gandora, all the different forms of Gandora, they are a bit too conditional. This one might be the most generic. Might be like the probably one of the best versions of Gandora I had seen in quite some time, like ever. Like, it's absolutely incredible. Next up, we have Silent Swordsman 0, which is a 4-star light warrior with 1,000 attack and defense, and the third effect is a once per turn. The first effect says, once per turn during each standby phase, increase this card's level by 1. Second effect reads, while this card's current level is higher than its original level, it gains attack equal to the difference times 500. The third effect says, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets Gold Sarcophagus of Light and or a monster that mentions it, you control, as a quick effect, you can negate the activation and increase its card's level by 1. So funny enough, not only does this have the effects of the Silent Swordsman from the anime, but also this also has a built-in like makeshift Solemn Judgment. So honestly, this is probably one of the best forms of negation you're gonna have in this type of deck. Not sure though if the deck itself will be meta, because obviously you guys know, and I've talked about this so many times over the months, actually over the years. Just because there's new support for a certain deck or a new archetype has come in, just because it's brand new doesn't mean that that's going to be a meta-based deck. Usually, especially with sets like Genesis Impact and Valiant Smashes and the like, it's usually the waifu decks that usually become meta for obvious reasons, and it becomes meta for like a week. And then people realize, oh, this deck sucks. We need more support. So, funny enough, this is probably one of the best forms of negation you're gonna have. So that's actually kind of cool. But speaking of zeros, we have Silent Magician 0, 4-star light spellcaster, 1,000 attack and defense. Third effect is a once per turn. And I believe, yeah, so Silent Magician is different. The first effect reads, if your opponent draws a card, increase this card's level by the number drawn. While this is the second effect. While this card's current level is higher than its original level, it gains attack equal to the difference times 500. The third effect says, when your opponent activates a spell or effect and you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, as a quick effect, negate the activation and increase this card's level by 1. So Silent Swordsman 0 is built-in negation. This card is essentially essentially like spell canceller in a way where even if if your opponent activates a spell, the effect is still negated. So these two cards, both Swordsman and Magician Zero, probably two of the best forms of negation you will ever have in this deck. But now we got some gadgets. Yeah, we move from Gandora to silent, to being silent, literally, to having gadgets. And the gadget is Tricolor Gadget, which is a 4-star Earth Machine with 1300 attack, 1100 defense, and both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect says, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 gold sarcophagus of light or a spell or trap that mentions it from your deck to your hand. It's basically Spell and Trap Rhoda. Do I even need to say anything else? Don't think I have to, though. The second effect says if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can set 1 Stronghold the Hidden Fortress directly from your deck. Okay, so Stronghold the Hidden Fortress, we'll be getting to those cards a little later on in the video, but I'm assuming the effect is similar to Stronghold the Moving Fortress, which is possible, but who knows? But basically both of these effects, they're essentially like spell and trap Rhoda, if you will, which is pretty cool. Not much else to say about that. But not only that, with Stronghold the Hidden Fortress, depending on what its effect is, for all we know, Tricolor could make Stronghold the Hidden Fortress even more powerful than you would least expect. It's possible, but who knows? So next up, we have Mashi Marshmelon. Yeah, you heard me right. Mashi Marshmelon. 3-star Light Fairy, 300 attack, 500 defense. The first and third effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, during your opponent's turn, if you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. It's a Cyber Dragon, not much else to say about that. Second effect reads, while you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, this card cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent's monsters cannot target other monsters for attacks. The third effect says, if this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon 1 of your other Mashi Marshmelon that is banished or in your hand or deck, deck, or grave, and if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. So again, you have with this card you have Cyber Dragon effect. You have a Cyber Dragon effect. You have built-in protection, and you're also able to essentially just Cyber Rev System another copy of itself from anywhere on the field, whether it's banished, the hand, the deck, or the graveyard, and you're able to deal a grand of damage to your opponent. That's actually pretty nuts, especially if you're looking to just win the duel automatically, and your opponent has at least 1,000 or less. This card basically just wins you the game, which is pretty crazy. There's a note underneath that says, this card appears to be a play on Mashi, which means more plus extra. Okay. Now, alright, not much else to say about that. Now we go into the aforementioned Gold Sarcophagus of Light, which is a continuous spell, and the second and third effects are once per turn. The first effect says that this card cannot be destroyed by monster effects. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. So not even a card like say Galaxy Eye Cypher Blade Dragon. You know, not even a card like that could destroy Gold Sark of Light, which is pretty cool. The second effect says, says, during your main phase, you can add one card from your deck to your hand that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light, except this card. Okay, again, it's basically your Rhoda for the whole deck. This is like the best form of Rhoda you will ever see, which is pretty cool. The third effect says if your opponent special summons a monster from the grave, you can discard one spell, target one of those monsters, send it to the grave. So basically, this is a card that can essentially stop a card like Monster Reborn, which is pretty crazy. Which is pretty cool. I will admit though, it has the effects similar to the anime version where in that duel between Yugi and the Pharaoh activated Monster Reborn, and Yugi ended up realizing, oh yeah, I made the right call. Boom, Monster Reborn inside the ancient box, and the Pharaoh's Monster Reborn was negated. Yeah, it has an effect similar to that, but this has added steps. I guess in a way. So still not that bad. Not too bad at all. Next up, we have Turn Silence, which is a quick play spell, and I guess both of the effects are once per turn, which the first effect reads, target one face-up monster you control, increase its level by 3, and if you activated this card in response to your opponent's monster effect activation while you control the Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, negate that effect. So, yeah, this is literally your quick play Solemn Judgment, I guess, if you will. That's pretty crazy. The second effect says if your monster that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light battles during damage cal, you can banish the card from your grave and the battle phase. So funny enough, I believe Waking the Dragon is still playable, as is Side Frame Lord Omega. So yeah, you're gonna end up abusing that combo over and over again, and they might just have to ban Side Frame Lord Omega for the most part. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and I want you guys to pause the video and comment below answering this question as well. Do you guys remember the battle that Yugi had with Rebecca Hawkins right after the Duelist Kingdom tournament in season 1? You guys do remember, right? Okay. So you guys remember when Yugi literally just scooped and gave the victory to Rebecca? Yeah, you guys do remember? Okay. So you might also remember this. Yugi gave Rebecca a card that was handmade by Pegasus himself, called Ties of Friendship. You guys remember that? Well, if you do, that means one thing. It has now seen the light of day, but the artwork is a bit different compared to that one, because the next card up is Ties of Friendship, which is a normal spell, and the effect is a once per turn that reads, if you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, you cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn after this card resolves. Also special summon up to 2 level 4 or lower monsters with different names from your hand or deck that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light. Yeah, Ties of Friendship, I never would have imagined that the Ties of Friendship card would ever see the light of day. But the artwork is so different compared to that one. So if you guys remember that artwork, this is the artwork from... This is what the new artwork looks like. Whoa! Sorry guys, camera moved. My camera kind of moved. Sorry guys. But this is what the card looks like. Yeah. That's what the card looks like. Now I'm going to try and readjust my camera. Readjust the camera. Come on. There. Okay. Okay. I think we're good. Sorry, guys. It's just that every time I move my laptop to show you guys a photo, my camera always moves. So I do apologize. But basically, that's what the new artwork looks like. And essentially, this card is essentially your Cyber Rev system for the whole deck. But instead of the hand or grave, it's the hand or deck. So this is probably one of the best like combo starters, I guess, if you will, for the entire deck, which is pretty crazy. And funny enough, it's a good thing that Max C is banned, because otherwise you would have to commit to the special summon and literally give your opponent 7 cards for their opening hand, which is absolutely nasty. Which would be nasty. Although, to be fair, there is another card that can essentially just become Max C, which is oh, what's the card? Excuse me. I'm trying to think of it. Was it I think Shared Ride was the name of the card. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to say the very least. But next up we have Silence Towards the Future, which is a quick play spell, and the effect is a once per turn that reads: add 1 monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light. Then if you activate this card during the battle phase, while you control the Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, each player draws cards until they have 6 in their hand. So, here's the funny thing. This is Rhoda anime Card of Sanctity. Do you realize how funny this card is? How nasty this card is? Literally, the ultimate form of emotional damage is if you play this card and you get ashed. If you get hit with an ash, the worst form of emotional damage possible. That right there would be devastating. But honestly, it's pretty funny. But what's cool about this is that this essentially becomes literally a 1 for like 7, which is absolutely insane. But I believe, hold on, add a monster from your deck to your hand and then draw, and then, okay, so essentially it becomes a 1 for 6 in a way. So if you had no cards in hand and you play this card during the battle phase, not only is that a +1 in the form of the Rhoda effect, but you also get to draw 5 additional cards, which is another +5, which is absolutely incredible. This is insane. This is probably one of the decks I'm gonna have to check out and see if the cards are good, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm gonna have to keep this article here. Shout outs to YG YG organization for the release of the new cards, but Now we have one more card to talk about. It's the last one. Stronghold, the Hidden Fortress, which is a continuous trap. And the effect reads: special summon this card as an effect monster, which would be a 4-star Earth Machine with 0 attack, 2000 defense, with these effects. And it also says that, and it says that this card is also still a trap. Gains 1000 attack for each card you control that is Gold Sarcophagus of Light or a monster that mentions it. Once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack and you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, you can destroy that monster. So, funny enough, I believe I believe having tricolor gadget on board really wouldn't make much of a damn. But I will say this: these cards are going to absolutely just, I don't even know what to say about these cards except holy shit, this is nasty. Like think about this. Think about this. You have a card that literally pluses you 6 cards right off the bat. You have a card that literally resembles a card from the anime like 20 something year, literally 20 years ago. And not only that, you have literally monsters that have the anime that have the effects of their anime counterparts, literally from the anime. This is insane. But I will say this: I actually want to play this deck, but I don't. But obviously, we're not gonna get this set until, what is it? I think what, sometime in the summer next year. So it's gonna be a long time before we get these cards. But this will be interesting to say the very least. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.